and the value of multiple pay lines. This is going to be a lot of detail, so I put together a little graphical image to try to walk you through this scenario. But it is one of the key benefits that our Activate compensation plan gives to you as representatives. A lot of people think, oh, these little details, do they matter much in terms of compensation? Well, when I'm done with you tonight, I am hoping you all get excited and realize, wow, not only is auto balancing very, very valuable, but so likewise is having extra pay lines, more than just 2 in a typical binary. So let's start with just an overview of what auto balancing is. You know, so many times in about every network company on the planet, Friday night before commission run, whether that's the end of the month, the end of the bye week, or the end of the week, there is always the mad panic to get your volume in. People sit back on their downline management software system and they don't go out, they don't do anything, they don't want to be talked to, because we all know the deadline for commissions is coming up at midnight or 10 o'clock or 3 in the afternoon in Asia. Pick the time it's coming up. When that deadline comes, everyone knows they want to see their exact volume on each line, or their group volume, or their total sales volume, whatever the case may be, from whatever compensation plan you used to be a part of. And you want to look at those volumes to maximize the commissions and bonuses that you would be eligible for. So using Ariix's Activate compensation plan, you can't imagine how frustrated you would be if you did 13,334 points on the left and 13,331 points on your first pay line. You'll be like, oh, suck, for 3 extra points. I could have optimized that line and I would have participated in the income bonus. Drives you crazy. So as a result, you end up watching that volume very, very closely on Friday night. What's worse is you're going to watch that volume very, very close because you also have to make sure there weren't any returns that were done. And then to make matters worse, there's other people that are watching your volume as well. And those people, as they watch their volume, they decide they're a little short. So they place an order that gives you 10 more points right after you placed an order that got you 5 points. So now, instead of being just a couple of points short, you're 13 points over and you placed an extra order and you had to pay tax and shipping and the whole deal and you go, oh, crap. I can't believe that happened. I wish I would have known they were going to place that order. It's kind of like, for those of you in America, it's kind of like bidding on eBay. You want to do the last minute bid and make sure you get it, but you don't want to have to overbid for your particular product, so you wait till the last minute till it expires. If you haven't bid on eBay, you ought to go do it once. You can have a rush of what it's exactly like every Friday night on your own commission run. You know, I got to tell you, though, one thing I'm going to have to tell Liz I don't like about webinars, I think I'm really funny. But I don't get any feedback. I don't hear laughing. I'm hoping at least at your house or in your room or if you're in a group of people, some people are chuckling. It's nothing worse than a comedian to throw out these jokes and just hear nothing but silence. So anyway, back to this auto-balancing concept. Well, we know that it drives you crazy that you have to do that. But worse yet, there went your Friday night or your Saturday afternoon because you got to spend it on that particular computer. And we all know you're doing it. The company knows you do it. You know you do it, but we all pretend it's not going on, and we just have to waste a nice Friday night. So because we are in the spirit of giving, and I want to be Santa Claus, and I am trying to make everyone's relationships a little bit nicer with a little more harmony by having date nights available to couples, we came up with the concept of auto-balancing or date night. Because instead of you having to wait till the last minute to see how much volume you need to place, we have done it for you with auto-balancing. I got a whole bunch of smart people together, and I made them figure out a concept that I like. You see, that's a good thing about being the CEO. You can dream up these ideas, but somebody else has to actually execute them. So luckily, we got a really smart guy who runs our IT department who came up with a way to ingeniously calculate auto balancing for every single person in the company right after Friday night closes. And auto balancing, therefore, takes volume that you are generating and places it on a pay line that would earn you the most commissions. And by earning you the most commissions, we mean maybe it's better to maximize a pay line, maybe it's better to optimize another income position. It computes where your biggest check would be had that balance been placed. That auto balanced volume comes from two sources. One, from preferred customers. Remember, these are individuals that have no interest in joining the compensation plan. These individuals just want to buy products, and they'll either buy it from you, in which you could get a retail markup, or they can buy it directly from the company as a preferred customer, and you get the credit volume. Additionally, this auto balanced volume comes from any additional orders you place throughout the 4-week period, in addition to your qualifying volume. So right now you generate $100, 75 points, and it makes you eligible for commissions. But if you happen to get 76 points or 82 points, or midway through the week you decide you need a little more Rejuvenex, what do? You place an order, and that volume goes into your auto balance volume. And I call that your auto balance volume bucket that you see in the little picture on your screen. So in this situation, I've set up a little example of the little people. I haven't tried to get a big leader on this because we'd all be too overwhelmed with the numbers and the calculation. But in this situation, I want you to look at the power of auto balanced volume. So remember, the auto balance volume in this situation is 500 points. Let's say you've got a bunch of preferred customers, some retail customers, and you've even got a couple of extra orders for yourself. And you generated in that particular week 500 points. Additionally, you got one person down below you on the left side, and that person on the left side, they're from Asia, and they're generating 100 points for you on one line, your power line. Here's how the auto balance volume works. First, it would say, oh, you have 100 points on your power line. We need to put 100 points on the pay line of the 500 points to make sure that we've balanced your two lines correctly. If I take away the 100 points from the 500, it leaves me 400 points left. Now, of those 400 points, since I have two lines, we split it equally. We'll split 200 on the power line, 200 on your pay line, giving you a total of 300 points, and those sales volume points on your pay line. Remember, we pay 15% on a pay line to 2,000 points, which means you would receive a wonderful check of 45 points, and in this case, $45, since 1 point is equal to $1 in the United States. Easy example. We're all excited, and auto balancing volume was a wonderful thing. Now, even if that auto balancing volume would have been up to the 13,000 range, it would even place it to make sure that you optimize your particular income position. But here's the bad news. What if you already had 13,334 points or more on your power line, and you had 13,000 points on your pay line, but you still had the 500 points in the bucket? Well, you get auto balanced to enough to maximize the income position, but the rest of your auto balance volume is thrown away. Why? Because you don't have any more pay lines. You only have two. So what did we do? We created a promotion with the silver pack and the gold pack that, in addition to the value you generate by buying that quantity, you get additional lines, and these lines become pay lines. Now, whether or not you place anyone on those additional lines, of which we all know pays more in commissions, they help you with auto balanced volume. Because you see, that throwaway wouldn't have been thrown away. It would have actually been placed on your next pay line if you would have been in a silver or a gold pack situation. So let me walk you through exactly how that works. Let's suppose you bought a silver pack. And on that silver pack, you have the same situation you had before. You got 500 points in auto balance bucket volume, and you've got 100 points from one representative that you have on your power line. First step, the computer says, oh, we've got to balance all of your pay lines. So it's going to put 100 sales volume points on your pay line 1 and 100 on your pay line 2. If I take away 200 of those points from the 500 in your bucket, it leaves me 300 sales volume points left. I have to split those on those 3 even lines, so I add 100 sales volume points to your power line, 100 to your pay line, and 100 to your second pay line, or your 1.1, your 1.2, and your 1.3. What does that mean? I pay 15% on your pay line 1 and your pay line 2. If you have 200 total points at 15% per point, that's $30 per line. 30 plus 30 is $60. Remember, the other one was $45. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm not, that's a 33% increase on your balanced volume that you get from your own purchases and from the purchases of your preferred customer. Now keep in mind, that is 33% increase on every line up to 13,000 points. So in this little example, 45 to 60 might not seem like a lot, but remember, that's relative to the size of your organization. The bigger your organization gets, the more money you make from the exact same amount of points in your auto-balanced bucket. But it gets even better. What if you had 4 lines? In the exact same scenario, 500 points in your bucket, 100 points on your power line, and your 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 pay lines all had nothing. The first step, we would take 100 points and place it on your 1, 100 points and place it on your pay line 2, 100 points and place it on your pay line 3 to keep you perfectly balanced. We have 300 from the 500, leaves us 200 extra points from that bucket that we need to balance equally. So that means 200 divided by the 4 lines puts 50 sales volume points on each of the 4 lines. 3 of those are pay lines. So I have 150 on your pay line 1, 150 on the pay line 2, and 150 on the pay line 3. And of course, all pay lines pay 15%. 15% of 150 is $22.50 each line. And you have 3 of them. $67.50 rather than the original $45. Total percentage increase, folks, that's 50% increase on commissionable volume from your auto balanced volume forever. Because remember, even as you optimize another income position and you get another line optimized, you earn yet another pay line. The more pay lines you have, whether you have people on them or not, the more pay lines you earn, the greater that percentage increase becomes. Mathematically, it's actually, for all you mathematicians out there, asymptotic to 100%. If you had an infinite number of pay lines, you would receive 100% more on auto-balanced volume over someone who did not have an infinite number of pay lines. So you see, I guess you kind of look at it like this. Do you want the extra value in the silver, and do you want the extra value in the gold pack from the products, and earn an extra 33% or earn an extra 50% on your auto balance volume, suddenly the silver and the gold pack become much, much more valuable when you look at it in your Ariix business for the long run. Now, for those of you who blew it, you didn't realize just how much an extra pay line was worth, whether or not you plan to build on those extra pay lines. You have now had an epiphany. Wow, auto balance not only gives me freedom, it pays me more if I'm there to take advantage of it. So as I understand it, at 8x5 Go Ariix, they have set up a line at customer service for you to be able to upgrade, depending on how you came into Ariix. You will be able to upgrade that kit to a silver or a gold kit to be able to take advantage of 2 pay lines or 3 pay lines rather than the single pay line many of you had. I hope over the years I have a lot of opportunity to teach and reteach many, many subtleties on the Activate compensation plan. Folks, I hope you also find this a little unique. Our job and our goal is to not only make you as successful as possible, but try to get you as much commission as possible for the exact same amount of volume. Most companies are looking for ways to get more throwaway because it lowers their compensation plan payout and it creates more profitability to them. In fact, they would never dream of them to go out and actually teach you how to optimize the plan to get every dollar in commissions out of it. Well, beyond just teaching you tidbits like this with more to follow, we also have tried to set up an automated system called auto balancing that will mathematically calculate all of these possible commission scenarios in an instant to give you the greatest amount of pay possible. And that's because of this. We truly know at Ariix, we don't believe it, we know it. If you are successful, if you are earning money, you will stay with Ariix forever. You will also tell your friends because the increased likelihood of success makes you want to share it more with people you have met. We want to change the industry. We want to make it so that everyone has a positive experience in Ariix so that they have a favorable disposition towards network marketing in general. Please take advantage of the opportunities while you have it to get your extra pay lines. Continue to optimize your lines and earn additional pay lines to increase that percentage of auto-balanced bucketed volume that you receive. Until the next time I get an opportunity to give you little tidbits, this is Fred Cooper, CEO, signing off on the tidbit of the week for the Activate compensation plan. Everybody, thank you for the time. It's been a pleasure.